Hi, I'm Rod Thompson, and this is Medicare for All. This is a quick little strategy session that I wanted to have with you guys because those of us who are fighting the good fight for Medicare for All have a lot of lies that are being told about Medicare for All that we need to refute. Not just Medicare for All, but the whole Democratic mantle. We should be fighting for three things. Democrats need to understand that these three things will not only win the election, but it will turn this economy around in a big way. History has shown that when you fight for jobs for the middle class, when you build infrastructure, you build massive amounts of prosperity and you grow the middle class from the bottom, and the upper classes benefit as well, although they don't get to keep as much of the pie as they're used to keeping, and that will always make them angry. But here's what we do. First of all, Medicare for All. That's kind of a no-brainer. The whole rest of the world's already doing it. Number two, build, baby, build. Massive infrastructure spending. We are terrible, crumbling bridges and roads. We've got a D by the Corps of Engineers. We're in terrible shape. We just keep not investing. And if we do this, it will create massive numbers of jobs. It's a great, great way to build the economy. And then thirdly, let's get behind fixing what's wrong with the environment. And we will double down on green jobs and green energy. We will fight back against the fossil fuel industry, and we will green this country. And of course, you do those three things and everything turns around. We suddenly become prosperous again. Now, here are some of the arguments that Republicans try to use. First of all, they constantly say, and this is laughable, that Democrats are fiscally irresponsible. Just look at the facts. And I'm just saying, go back and look at history. It's the Democratic presidencies that have always gotten control of the budgets, gotten the deficits down. And it's always the Republicans who spend like drunken sailors on the stuff they want for their buddies and their cronies. It's crony capitalism. They're constantly cutting taxes for the wealthiest Americans, which is the exact opposite of what we need to do. In fact, they did this at a time when we were in war, in two wars during the Bush administration. We went from an economy that was on its way, a budget that was on its way to balancing by 2012. If all we needed to do was hang on to what George H.W. Bush said, which was it was a pay-go system that Clinton also supported. And if we had stayed with that, we would have been completely out of debt by 2012. But what did George Bush do? Of course. And then what did the Republicans do when Obama got in? They blamed this whole mess that they created on Obama. It's ridiculous. Secondly, Medicare for All will bankrupt us. What they constantly say is, oh yeah, Medicare for All, well, who's going to pay for it, Bernie? Well, folks, the same people that are currently paying for it, us. We currently pay, right now, $3 trillion a year. $3 trillion a year on health care. You know, premiums, deductibles, copay, and especially pharmaceuticals. What a racket. It's sort of like a great massive ship that if you look underwater, instead of the nice smooth lines of the hull, you see barnacles completely encasing that understructure. We can't keep trudging on forward with all those barnacles slowing us down. What are the barnacles? The leeches. The leeches. The people who are sucking profit and taking profit from the misery of people who are sick and poor and injured. It has to stop. Medicare for All will save, Bernie's plan especially, will save $3 trillion over 10 years. Yes, it does cost $30 trillion, but it saves, not $3 trillion, it saves $6 trillion over 10 years. So instead of a bill for $30 trillion, which is what we're all paying right now anyway, we would pay $24 trillion. We'd save $6 trillion. And they make a very deceptive thing when they talk about taxes going up. Yes, the taxes will go up, but your bills for your premiums and your copays and deductibles will go to zero. So it more than makes up for the difference in the taxes. Yes, we're shifting from the system that currently has to charge us at every single turn to a system that only charges us once when we get paid. It comes out of our paycheck. And it's so much better because that means you don't have to stay in one job and get stuck there because you can't get a job that has health care and you're afraid to move out of that job because of your health care benefits. That will go away. And believe me, a lot of employers don't want to see that go away because they want to keep their grips on you and keep you from moving when you want to move and going to that better job across the way. So all of these arguments that Republicans constantly come up with are just simply false. Don't let them get away with them. When they say something like, oh, well, you guys, how are you going to pay for it? All you got to do is just shake your head and laugh. You say, we're already paying for it. We're already paying for it. How about we pay a little less? Wouldn't that be a good idea? How about we do what the rest of the world is already doing? The idea that America can't do what everybody else is doing is laughable. It's hilarious to say, oh, Denmark can do it. But you have to remember, Denmark's a small country. Well, here's the problem with that argument. We're huge. We are huge. That means the rule of large numbers works in our benefit. The more you spread cost out over the more people, the larger the population, the less per person it would cost. We would actually end up paying less than Denmark or Sweden or the other countries that have fewer citizens than we do. The rule of large numbers cannot be refuted, and that's what insurance works on, the rule of large numbers. That's why Nixon was so eager to make it possible to break up these large numbers of people into smaller groups and to claim, oh, well, this smaller group here, they're more at risk, and therefore we can charge more for them in order to be profitable. Don't you see what they're doing? They're pitting the people who are poor and sick and getting older against the people who are healthy. It's worked for many years, but eventually all of the people are going to realize this. And you know what? The day's coming. We're already at a 70 percentile. Believe it or not, 70% of Americans want to see Medicare for all. It's funny to me to hear an old man say, Medicare for all? Why, that's communism. And it's always the old guys, the old white guys. Medicare for all, it's communism. Yeah, Medicare for you is not communism, old man. But Medicare for the rest of us, that's communism? Hello. How about sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander, you hypocrite? Medicare for all should be the cornerstone of the Democratic platform in 2020. Build, baby, build. Medicare for all. And let's get the green economy roaring. I'm Rod Thompson, and that's Medicare for All for this week.